If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell icon to get the latest.
Hi everyone. So last time whatever we have seen regarding the service now, we, we would just recap once after doing a recap, and then we would proceed further with the today's topics. And if anybody is having any issues or any doubts, they can uh, tell me, or even though they can ping me. If they don't want to stop me in between, they can also ping me that I have some issues or I'm not able to understand this particular concept. This was the first day, so little bit of recap we would do. That what is ServiceNow? Actually, you can tell that ServiceNow is an ITSM platform. It is called as an IT service management, as other tools are also there for the IT service management. It would be BMC Remedy, it would be Salesforce, it would be Sharewell. Other tools are also present. And ServiceNow, as per the other tools, ServiceNow is also a cloud-based platform which mainly focuses on the automation. And you can tell we have to purchase an enterprise license to work on ServiceNow for the business purpose. And apart from that, to work or to do a practice, we already have a PDI. PDI is a short form of personal developer instance. Like somebody would tell you that you have a PDI or not. This means that the full form of PDI would be personal development instance. Apart from that, we have seen that there are different modules are present in ServiceNow. ServiceNow involves to become the enterprise service management platforms for all the organizations, and mostly nowadays all the organization use this particular platform. And not only in ServiceNow, there are ServiceNow not only provides the ITSM, but it also provides other functionalities like for HR, customer service management, as well as IT operation management. There are different modules which are already present apart from ITSM. You can tell as per a particular specific definition about the ServiceNow. ServiceNow is one of the rare software platforms that can show a rapid return on the investment and continues to deliver the strong values for the organization. This means that suppose I am purchasing a service now. As we all know, service now is in demand, and majorly almost all the companies use service now because it increases the productivity when a developer as well as an ITIL user or as well as an end user, whoever works on that particular tool, because of the interface and because of the architecture, it increases the productivity. And even though people invest a lot in this tool as per the different plugins or as well as for the ITSM. Now, what are the key benefits of ServiceNow? You can tell. First of all, uh, the best benefit about the ServiceNow is it is an automation tool. First of all, as I started in the previous class, as I told that it was a ticketing tool initially. Later on, it started or it went to the automation tool, and nowadays it provides a complete architecture to the whole organization, not only to not only to the specific module, but because of the different verticals which are present inside ServiceNow, it gives end-to-end support or end-to-end architecture of a whole project or for a whole company. And the basic or the key benefit of ServiceNow is that it automates. And how it automates due to the workflows. Whatever the workflows or whatever the flow designer is there, because of that it automates. Now the question would be coming in your mind is that, okay, you told that it needs automation is done. And how the automation is done? Automation is done by the workflows. As per the layman language, or initially when we are starting in service now, workflows are what? You would be thinking that something we need to create or some process we need to build for the workflows. Okay, so that is in a layman's language. Now, suppose when you would learn, or until certain point, you would learn service now, and you would come to one point at a time that you would be telling that no, workflows are what? It is a technical term, and it is actually a real-time concept which is present inside service now. Okay. Assigns and prioritize work automatically. Yeah, that is obvious. Why? Because now suppose, as I told you, for one of the process, suppose I am a new user in a company, and when I enter into a company, what I do first, I raise an access. Now, most of the times in many of the companies, where raising an access is what, either a manager or a team lead or a scrum master would provide you uh, your access. But still, in many companies, it has been implemented an automation process in which first you need to go to a portal, or you can tell a website. For a layman's language, right now you can tell you have to go to a website. In that, you have to raise a request. After that, request would go for an approval. Who would be approving your request? Either your manager or the team lead or the scrum master. After approval, then it would go to a particular team would work on that particular record, or you can tell on that particular request, and it would, and then later on you would get an access either in your personal email id or separately from your manager. Now what happens, there are incoming data always comes. Now how the incoming data comes, this also we have to keep in mind, that suppose right now you are an end user, you went to a website. Now suppose a website, you, very basic example we would tell as Facebook or Instagram. What we do, we see the website, it's easy to access. Similarly, and what we do, we input the data. This means that whenever we log in into a particular platform, what we do, we give our personal or the basic information which is needed, like email id, phone number, and all this. This means that we are putting the data inside a particular platform, and the data is coming from where? The data is coming from outside to inside the platform. Similarly, in ServiceNow, what happens? Data can come from anywhere, records can be created from anywhere. Like, either suppose you told that I don't want to call anyone, or I don't want to call a service desk. If you are calling, then at that point of time, a record would be created by whom? By an agent. Now, suppose data would also come by an email. Now, you would be thinking that I'm not interested in calling. Let me write an email to a specific email ID to their support. From there, also data is coming. Similarly, from a virtual agent. Now, you want to have a chat, small chat with the agent, or there is an automation process involved in this. From there, also the data is coming. Now, suppose you are requesting a particular form from a website. From there, also data is coming, from email, from chat, from separate request, from calling a particular website. All the data is coming, and that data is being stored into ServiceNow. And then now it depends that what is the priority. Now you have an urgency, or you, it is very urgent for you. Business is getting impacted. Suppose your emails are down, or your email servers are not working, you are unable to communicate through the emails. This is an urgent issue which needs to be fixed immediately. So now, even though people who are working at the back end, they would prioritize your task because actually it is impacting your business. So that is what assigns and prioritize work automatically. Many times it is done manually by the agents who are sitting at the back end, or by the developers, or either you can create your own process. And the exactly previous point which I told, by using the workflows, you can do this process, or you can automate this process. What are the other things are clear visibility to the stakeholders. Now, what are the transparency and the collaboration in all the projects? Now, suppose, and remember one thing, a point to be noted, that in ServiceNow, if you are handling a ServiceNow and your ServiceNow instance has grown a lot till a certain point, and to grow a ServiceNow instance, it would take 2 to 3 years. Now you have multiple work in ServiceNow instance. So this means that you need to have a particular team and a particular flow. You can't expect from a particular developer he would be knowing that other 4 modules or other 5 modules who would be working on that. So there would be a particular project, and even that, to maintain a particular project, uh, there is one of the module which is present, ITBM, and if it is not with the ITIL and agile process, we can have a connectivity between the teams, that what are the different modules, how it is connected to each other, what are the dependency among them. This would be clear, and later it comes when you have an in-depth knowledge, and later on we would come onto that points. Consolidates system into a single architecture system. As a single point which I told last time is, you buy service now, you get all the facilities. It is a one stop shop. If you come here, you would not be telling that I don't have a DevOps functionality, I don't have monitoring functionality, I don't have reporting functionality, I don't have database functionality. Anything you tell, everything get consolidated in a particular platform, which is ServiceNow as a tool. Now, how to now what it happens, why we use ServiceNow? That is also the point, correct? That there are other tools also. It is not like that only ServiceNow is there, or ServiceNow is one of the greatest tool. It is nothing like that. But yeah, I can tell that it would increase the productivity, the delivery would be much more faster, lot of automations would be performed, and and the project would be less rigid. Means, the every time if a process breaks or some system breaks, the chances are little bit less comparatively to the other tools, because it mainly focuses on the automations. And we already know, as I told you previously, my initial stating point in the last class was, if you are dealing with ITSM, if you're dealing with ServiceNow, you have to deal with all other modules. It's not like that immediately in 6 months or 1 year you would be dealing with all the modules, but for sure in a longer run of time, you would be dealing with the securities, you would be dealing with the policies, you would be dealing with the HR process, you would be dealing with the architectural process, which comes under IT operations management, you would be dealing with the customer service management, which is CSM. And even though a lot of the times you would be having customizations for the service portal, that suppose you want to create a particular website, how would be the end user experience, that also you would be designing, as well as relationships, or regarding the hardware and the software, there is a different module which is called as an ITAM, IT asset management. And basically nowadays, 2 or 3 modules which you would be listening that it is really performing great in ServiceNow instances is, one would be the software asset management, another one would be GRC, governance, risk and compliance, all these modules. Now one more thing to remember is that, as I told here, risk and compliance, if you see this line, risk and compliance, IT operations management, service portfolio management, software asset management. I told you that this is the different modules are there, which is a part of a service now, and it actually helps to contribute to the business of service now. But but you can tell, for this it takes a lot of time to come at that point, and it is not at all like that it would work independently. In service now, nothing works independently. Everything works, or everything is having a dependency on each other. Now suppose if I am doing a SAM is for what? SAM is for software licensing, or you can tell software asset management. But where software would be installed? Of course, in the hardware. So for that, which module comes in the priority? First, HAM, hardware asset management. Then on top of that, SAM, software asset management, and then a combination of both would work at one point of time later on. So, and even though one of the good examples nowadays, as per the trend I am telling, because service now came a long back. It has been more than 10 or 15 years right now for service now. But right now you have to focus on the few modules. Nowadays, there are a lot of security breaches are happening. in a lot of companies. At that point of time, security operations come into picture. Now, I would also write few things that it would be clear for you all. ITSM is there. Inside ITSM, there is incident problem change request, and the other one is knowledge. Knowledge comes in ITOM. Event management, service mapping, orchestration. In GRC, policy and compliance, audit management, risk management, management. Fifth would be policy and compliance, audit management, risk management, vendor risk management, business management, and one more concept which comes into picture is IRM, security operations. One would be vulnerability response, threat intelligence. Third one is response. Apart from that, these are the different modules which I have told you just for an example. To get an overview, let me ping you in chat. These are the only few modules which I have talked, even though if I would tell about CMDB, that is also very important module. CMDB, in that discovery, CSPM. It is what? These are the few topics, or these are the few different modules which are present. And here also you can tell that ServiceNow offers automated user-friendly solutions either in security operations, in customer service management, in human resources, in facility, and in the business applications. Okay, this is done. Now, first of all, why we use ServiceNow? The very basic, because there are a lot of qualities which are present for ServiceNow, is that we can modify the platform with our own convenience. Whatever the stakeholders need or whatever the product owners need, we can modify or we can twist the platform as per their or our needs. One of the major key points is there are SLAs involved. SLAs means service level agreements are there, because there are agreements between the organization, between the two different organization, between the two different teams which are present in the same organization, as well as between different level of teams which are present in the same organization. Again, I am repeating, the first use, or you can tell the first use of service now is we can twist, we can customize, we can mold, or we can bend the service now as per the need of the business, as per the business owners or the stakeholders who tell. We can do, we can create service now in that format. First. Second is service level agreements are provided in that. And the service level agreements, you can tell either it is between the two different companies, or between the two different teams, or multiple teams present in the same organization. So that is one second point. Third point is we can make use of the workflows. Why we use workflows? To automate the task. Third point. Fourth point, it would create a structural work environment. It is nothing like if we are bending the process, this means that we are breaking the process. We are bending the things, or we are customizing the things inside ServiceNow is for the convenience of the end users, convenience for the other people who would be working on ServiceNow in their company in every levels. So that is the second thing that we can, third thing, that we can automate the process using the workflows. Second is we can make use of an artificial intelligence. We can add more functionalities like virtual agents, different algorithms we can implement inside ServiceNow, different processes we can implement in ServiceNow. That is the fourth point. And the fifth point is it would provide the customer friendly service portal, because the good looking service portal it would be there, then only the engagement of the end users would be more. It should be attractive. The UI UX should be user friendly. If it is not, people would not come, they would not request until and unless they are in very much in need. And the important thing is everything is chargeable, as I told you previously. The more engagement on the service portal, this means that more records are created, more usage of service now, more revenue would be generated. So again, I would tell, or again, I would recap whatever the uses of service now which I have told, that it would bend or it would modify as per the need of the specific operations, or as per the need of the business owners or the stakeholders or the product owners. Second point is service level agreements are there. Service level agreements would be there in between the same organizations, in between the same two different teams, or even though in two different organizations. This is present. Third point, it would improve, or already workflows are there, so it would help you to automate the tasks. Third point. Fourth point, it would because of the different functionalities like artificial intelligence, you can tell virtual agents, or there are different agent workspace is also there. So these are the terminologies which we would see later on, that it would help you to gel up the process, and more functionalities would be added to ServiceNow instance, so it would be helpful for the end users. Fifth point is that now ServiceNow is providing a user-friendly service portal environment, which you can see here in this point, customer-friendly self-service portal. So what happens? The more engagement, more productivity, more records would be created, more usage of ServiceNow, more revenue would be generated. So that is one of the perspectives of ServiceNow. And who all would be using it? As I told last time, one of the examples, as it was my practical project, so I have uh, told you that even though from person who is at the lower level of the hierarchy in an IT organization to the topmost person, even though the CEO, he would be using ServiceNow if they want to implement it. If they don't want to implement it, they cannot use everywhere. But yeah, if they want to implement it in a proper architectural format, everybody can use ServiceNow. Products of ServiceNow, as I told, the and which I gave you, this one. These this is the technical aspect. ITSM is what? ITSM is a technical aspect. It is the lower level foundation of learning development. ITSM. ITOM means IT operation management. GRC means governance risk management. These are the basic level modules which I have told that every developer need to know about it. Not deep concept, even though little bit overview about these modules. And I would tell that, suppose ITSM is not a new concept. It is there in Salesforce also, it is there in BMC Remedy also, in other tools also it is present. Similarly for the ITOM, IT operations management, technically it can differ, but as per the process, it would never differ. The concepts would never differ as per the process. Similarly for GRC, governance, risk and compliance, the process remains the same in ServiceNow. In GRC, Archer is one of the tools like BMC Remedy and Salesforce. Even though for SAP there is a GRC, the concept remains the same in all the platforms, same, but the terminologies gets differ. Similarly for the security operations and the CMDB. Now here in this slide, what you would be seeing, this is the business aspect. Business aspect means we would not go deep down, but you would tell that in ServiceNow, it would cover all the domains: automation domain, business management, customer management, security management, and human resource management. Now, best practices of using ServiceNow, it is to automate the task. Customer engagement would be increased. There are a lot of things which can be automated. It help the foundation would be also strong for an organization, and to create a user friendly environment in ServiceNow. Till now, any issues? If anything is there, any problem understanding what is ServiceNow, from how it has evolved, or what are the different modules, you can ask me questions. I am there to answer you. Anything? Are we clear about whatever which I have told you till now?
Yeah, at the high level, yeah. But if you go to the topics, basically you mentioned today
Mm-hmm.
that I today in the notepad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this ITSM is a sort of thing that we raise some incident or some
Correct.
request. Those all the stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so you are talking about these are all part of these modules. Each module.
Yeah,
Is
means.
it? Yeah.
Tell me. Sorry.
No,
Continue.
no.
Yeah.
So we are raising that. No, sometime we create a request, sometime we create an
Mm-hmm.
incident. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
why we create a request here. Some other place we create a incident here or something like that. Is it better to know that what is the difference between these incident, problem, change or something that or
Yeah, that also we would come. That also
Okay.
we would come. I would tell you the process, and even though if you want to know today only, we can tell you the process, because process can be understood. Yeah, because I think so. These things you would be doing as an end user every time, that creating an incident or creating a problem, change request, and these are the knowledge articles. Knowledge
Mm.
articles means, suppose you called someone, okay, now you have a restricted laptop, you have a restricted environment, many times you are unable to open many websites also in Google, correct? For them it's very hard to debug the things or to get a reference. Not for the developers, I'm not telling about the perspective of the developers, I am telling a mid-level perspective, means the agents to whom you call or to whom you write an email that this is not working. So for them, where they would take a reference that I am stuck in this issue or this is some new issue which came, where I would resolve this issue. These issues can be resolved as enough. They would take an help of knowledge base. In that knowledge base, there are different articles for different issues are present. So what they would do, they would search for that, they would get a result. After getting a result, they would open few tabs, they would see the relevant articles. After that, if they are getting help, they would surely help the end customer regarding the issue. So that is a knowledge. And similarly, later on, I would tell you what is the process of an incident, problem, change, request, and all these things. Technically, if we would go much more in a technical aspect, at that point of time, I would tell you how it actually
Oh,
works.
yeah, yeah, that is fine.
Yeah,
Then we are good. Yeah.
yeah. So, as I told you that previously, we have also decided that what are the SaaS and PaaS. First of all, ServiceNow is both software as a service and PaaS, platform as a service. It is a combination of both. Now, what is software as a service? The basic difference to understand software as a service is it is a cloud platform. Whatever is there in the cloud, this means that it is a cloud platform and it would be considered as in SaaS. Or you can tell, instead of installing, or you can tell maintaining everything on a particular system or on a server, what we would do, we would open a PDI, we would start accessing our ServiceNow instances. Why? Because why this facility is given to ServiceNow or by ServiceNow to their end customers is, they are telling, don't worry about the servers or don't worry about the architecture or whatever the basic architecture which is needed as a backbone of ServiceNow, that you provide. You are our customers. We would help you with every functionality, whatever you need. Okay, so that is the best part about SaaS, that if you have an internet, you can start developing the things. Other things would be maintained by, as an enterprise to a customer, it would be maintained by ServiceNow. And it also works as a SaaS. It also provide the servers. There are different servers. If I open again my notepad, servers concept comes under ITOM. In this ITOM, there is something called as an mid servers. Mid servers, you can tell it is the virtual servers which needs to be installed, and from their servers we can fetch the data. Now the best example, if I would be going off topic, pardon about that, but I would be telling that if we come to the mid servers, okay, if we come to the mid servers, now one basic point comes into the picture. Like, suppose Workday is for HR. Means candidates would come, they would enroll, they would apply for the jobs. It is also one of the portals are there. Now, one of my requirement would be, suppose if a person comes to the Workday, he registers his account, he applies for a job application. That same record would be replicated inside ServiceNow. Inside ServiceNow, same type of record would be created. That is created how? That is created by using integration. Integration is one of the concept. One line definition of integration would be that if we want to communicate between two different systems, that communication is called as an integration. Now, that would come later on. That also I would give you an example that what are the real time scenarios it happens, because in companies there are a lot of things are there, means lot of integration works parallelly every time. So that we would do that, we would understand how the integration works. Now about multi-tenant architecture. Users applications, they have a single interface and they have a centralized system. Apart from that, later on it has been bifurcated into subdivisions, that is called as a multi-tenant architecture. And what are the SaaS characteristics? Very basic is easy customization. It is easy, so it is successful, and everything would be saved on a cloud platform. Nothing specific hardware requirements you need. You don't need a specific hardware requirements, like if you go to the olden days in which the people used to code in Java. Now what they do, they create a actually this one more fun fact, or you can tell fact, you can tell that whole service now is designed in Java. Whole service now is designed in Java. But on top of that, if we are working on service now, we have to make use of HTML, CSS, Angular JS, and JavaScript. This means that whole platform architecture is built on Java. But if you are a ServiceNow developer, you would not be working on Java. You would be working on JavaScript. And if we see the pro difference between them, they are completely different. If you see the coding styles, logics would be same for every language, but if you see the coding styles, service Java is completely different and JavaScript is completely different as per their libraries and their syntaxes. What are the SaaS characteristics? One is the better access, that if it gives us the privilege to monitor the data, to maintain the data, or you can tell to share the data among each other. So that is for the better access. You can tell one of the features of the characteristics. Now SaaS, you can tell it is also a platform. Now what happens, there is called as an IaaS, which is called as an infrastructure as a service. So you can tell any software model would be there, or any application would be there, it would be coming into some specific categorization, either SaaS or either PaaS or either IaaS. So this means that infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Now, as a key points to remember or to present in a better way, the benefits of SaaS is low setup, infrastructure cost is less because the hardware cost is completely cut down. The scalability is more. You can tell that you can scale this platform a lot. Frequent updates would be there, like notifications, SMS, and there is a specific thing, or you can tell in ServiceNow, notifications functionality is there. Now, what do you think? What do you get about notifications? Notifications could be of many types. Either it could be emails, either it would be text messages, or messages delivered from third party tool. So these are the three functionalities which we can implement in ServiceNow. Either you would receive an email as a notification, either you would get a text message on your cell phones as a notification, or either by using a third party tool. Third party tool means many people, like suppose you use a cell phone, or you use a phone. In India, people use Jio or Airtel. Like in Canada, people use Bell, or you can tell in Germany, people use T-Mobile, T-Mobile SIMs. In similarly in Australia, there are different telecom companies. In In UAE, people use Etisalat SIM because that is the only service provider in UAE. Now there are different people are there who provides. Now what happens? They send you a message in WhatsApp. They send you a message in WhatsApp. Your plan is expiring in this days, or you need to renew this, or you need to pay the bill in this. Now where they got this message? They are dropping you a notification on your WhatsApp. How they are dropping it? By using an integration. And in which categorization this would come? This process would come in a categorization of a notification by using or message delivered from the third party tool. If you would go back again, see the bullet points, or you can tell points which has been specified here is low setup and infrastructure cost is there for the SaaS platforms. Scalability is more. Automatic and frequent updates would be there. Accessibility from anywhere means you can access from your mobile, tablet, low-end laptops or high-end laptops. Any type of feature, wherever internet is accessible, you can access your instances. Then SLAs would be there. SLAs is service level agreement for checking the performance and to monitor the performance. And security would be also provided. Nowadays, security has become a major issue. So everybody tries to give the maximum security for their instances. So you can tell there are already legacy systems were coming. Already legacy systems are there because of the SaaS even though for the PaaS, because what happened nowadays, PaaS is what? You are creating a separate application. You can create a separate application inside ServiceNow also. So this means that ServiceNow at the end of the day, it is in both the buckets, either in SaaS as well as in PaaS. And there are different, you can tell in SaaS, there are a few concepts are there, and specifically in ServiceNow, as I told previously, the concepts would be there in other tools also. It is of ITBM, uh, IT business management, CSM customer service management, ITOM is IT operations management. Now you can already we have discussed this one. Now what happens to the data management and the security? ServiceNow collects the data, it stores the data, and it uses the same data to show it to the customers. Okay, so this means that in single platform, and as I told you previously, what is the definition of ServiceNow? ServiceNow is a cloud platform which is used for automation, and the infrastructure is built on a particular form, and at the back end, it is a database which consists of rows and columns. Here also it is written in a business manner that sharing large amount of sensitive data to the public as well as to the cloud-based platforms. Now what happens? Why it is telling large amount of data? Because if you see some of the instances or the request, you would be seeing 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs. We have also seen 30 lakhs of records are there only for the requests. Now you would be thinking that what I would do with the 30 lakhs request. That's not my concern with 30 lakhs request, but that's the concern of a business, how much revenue they have been generated, because for every request there is a revenue present. For every incident there is a revenue present. Even though at the end of suppose, because data is the new oil, you can tell, and ServiceNow collects the data, and the performance is also pretty good in ServiceNow regarding the lot of data. Lot of data means, now suppose some you want to export some files of 30 to 40,000 data, or even though 1 lakh of data, then that can be done easily with ServiceNow, though it would take 5-10 minutes because there is a huge chunk of data which would be coming in a file format, but it would be processed easily, even though we can increase the limits of it. Limits in the sense, technically speaking, I am talking technically, that there is a property or there is one feature is there in ServiceNow. It is given by ServiceNow only, that you can download or you can download up to 3000 or 4000 data only. But that doesn't mean, that doesn't fulfill my requirement, because I need 10,000 or 20,000 of data or 1 lakh of data, and at a time. Now my one more requirement is I need that much amount of data at a time. This means what? You have to do some change in something in ServiceNow, and later on you can completely download or import or export the files. Both the things you can do it. First of all, one of the major other thing which SaaS provides is, and specifically related to SaaS with ServiceNow, is that it would give you a great experience, how the platform looks, as well as the mobile format experience, because there is already out of the box. Out of the box means you don't have to go and purchase it separately. ServiceNow tells you take this functionality, not at all an issue. You start a development, and the development would be in what? The development would be in mobile application or in a mobile format. Better visibility is there, and with the visibility you can tell whatever the three bulletin points. Last time also I have taken these keywords and told you that ServiceNow easily integrates with third party tool. Now you are telling, suppose I would take one scenario, real time scenario. I don't want to go to ServiceNow. I don't like ServiceNow interface. What should I do? Let me get one WhatsApp. Let me open my WhatsApp or let me open my Telegram. From that Telegram, a specific number would be there. In that, I would type a message: incident is this. I am facing an issue in my email. Please resolve it ASAP. You send that message to the particular number. That would immediately trigger, or that a flow would be triggering from WhatsApp, and it would be going into ServiceNow. After going into ServiceNow, your issue was my email is not working. Please help me to resolve it ASAP. That would be automatically mapped to incident, and an incident would be created in ServiceNow. This means that you have never went to ServiceNow or to their service portal, because you are operating it from your mobile, you are operating it from WhatsApp or any social media platform. You just type one message, drop, it would trigger a workflow, or it would trigger a particular flow whichever you have created, and a record would be created in other instance, not other instance, in ServiceNow instance. Similarly, now what it is written, if you see the second point, the integration hub concept was developed to make it easy to integrate with other popular applications like SAP, Dynatrace, Okta, and more. Integration hub, as I told, there is one concept is there in ServiceNow of flow designer. With the help of the flow designer, it is free. But if you want to make use of an integration hub, it is a licensed one. In that you can do some level of customizations or some level of integration. That is one of the newer ways. It is a newer way. First of all, it was not used. Before 2 years in ServiceNow, nobody has ever heard integration hub or a flow designer. It came with Quebec version. Quebec is approximately 1 or 1.5 years before version it is there. So from Quebec it came. And one more thing to remember is that right now, which version we are using? Right now, if you open the PDI, you would be seeing, you would get Rome version, then you would be getting San Diego version. Another one would be Tokyo version. But most of the companies use the formula of n-1, which would be San Diego. I'm not telling that people would not use Tokyo, but People can use Tokyo, not at all an issue, but most of the customers I have seen, they would use one downgraded version, which is San Diego. Or if previously it was San Diego, then it would be Rome. But right now, if you access, like previously, as I have told one of the person from the class, that to raise a request, or not a request, to create an account. So right now, these three are available: Rome, San Diego, Tokyo. And before that was Paris, New York, London, Istanbul. As per the letters, it would go. L for London, R for Rome, S for San Diego, T for Tokyo. Like this, it goes for the city names. Now, integration feature. As we all know, there are multiple integrations: Cisco, Salesforce, Five9, HP, Jira. One more thing remains the same here. As I told you about WhatsApp, that is something very weird scenario. Nobody does it, at least in the business requirement. But if you want to integrate with WhatsApp, if you want to integrate with Facebook, if you want to integrate with Cisco, if you want to integrate with Salesforce or any tool, take randomly any example of any tool. The concept of every integration is same. The purpose of every integration is different. Somebody needs for ticketing, somebody needs for support, somebody needs for something or the other, but development perspective of every integration is the same. Technical concepts run exactly same for every integration, though it is for flow designer, though it is for integration hub, scripted REST API, anything. High level concept changes, objective of integration changes, but implementation objective for any of the integration remains the same. That is one perspective of developer point of perspective, and another one is the business perspective. Now, what is licensing? What is SaaS license management? First of all, whatever the licenses which are coming, it would be stored in the same instance. It would be stored in some particular table. It would not go outside that particular instance or outside that particular environment. It would be there in the same environment. Now, as I previously told, that in ServiceNow, licenses of software would be installed in what? It would be installed in some particular tables. Some particular tables would be called as in SAM, Software Asset Management, and the backend name of SAM tables are this one: product profile, SaaS script, consumption summary, subscription usage summary, etc. Now, what would happen? First, we can create and manage integration with the SaaS application, but we can also share the cost. We can also get the data of the usage. We can also know what are the licensing and how many machines the licensing is going on. And everything can be displayed in a form of a report or a dashboard. What is dashboard? Whenever you enter into ServiceNow, whenever you enter into platform, you would see some big good things. Good things means these many active users are present, or this many people have left the company, or this many people are coming from top of the organization, or this many people are absent in this particular week. Everything would be shown in a form of a number and a report, and the combination of both numbers and reports are called as in dashboards. So here what it is telling in the second point: share cost, usage and license information. This means what? Whatever you put, whether it is for present it, or you can make it a view on a dashboard via the SaaS overview dashboard. Done. Now, and we all know every means most of the processes nowadays use the agile process. So that is, and one more thing, there is something called as an on-prem. Now suppose lot of the companies are there, they want on-prem. On-prem means now like your PDI, personal development instance, which you all have requested last time. In that, what was the best outcome in that? Everybody can access it, not an issue. But what is on-prem? On-prem means server is installed or ServiceNow is installed in a particular server. That is called as an on-prem. Now, what are the SaaS subscriptions? You can tell in the software model, there is always a pricing would be there. And you can tell in SaaS vendor, there is also vendors concept are there in this. And it is there in almost in all the modules. And they can sell a limited duration of the subscriptions. Like in SaaS, who is our vendor? Your company's vendor is ServiceNow. ServiceNow has provided you all the informations or all the details. When they would be providing you all the details, so they would be responsible for answering this. But this doesn't means if you have bought the tool, if you don't do an investment or renew the plan, they would start giving the service for lifelong. No, they would be giving service until certain period of time, and after that you have to renew the plans. And this is for sure, it is there in SaaS. And you can also tell vendors actually provide maintenance, they provide support, they provide the updates, and everything is chargeable. That I told you last time, that nothing is for free. At least in ServiceNow, it is not free. In other tools, I cannot tell, but in ServiceNow, it is not free. So this is what about SaaS subscriptions. Now we would talk about the PaaS. That what is a PaaS? PaaS is called as in platform as a service. Now, first of all, PaaS is a set of cloud-based service also that also enables, but there are few things which are not common in between the SaaS and the PaaS. The things which are not common is that we can build an application, independent application. Suppose you install any of the application or a open source application also, and you can build that. And even though we don't need to maintain, or you can tell maintenance charges would be less. Not maintenance charges would be less, but we can maintain the servers, we can do the upgrades, we can, even though the authentication process we can implement. Because what happens, every tool has an authentication process. Last time we have seen, we have given username and the password, and we are happy to go inside the ServiceNow platform. This is done. But this is a very low level security. Many people would do authentication, that whenever you log in, an authentication would pop up in your RSA or anywhere, which the code number would be valid for 20 or 30 seconds, and then later on you can enter into that ServiceNow instance. So that can be also possible. And if you talk about the maintenance, if you see the second point, it is a cloud-based service, that's no need to worry about the setup and maintenance of servers, patching, upgrades, authentication, and so on. Okay, it is telling we don't need to no need to worry about the setup of maintenance, servers, patching, upgrades, and authentications. Correct? It would be taken care but in the real time scenario, it's a it's an issue, and the upgrades don't happen in a day. Now, the best example is about your phone. Suppose you have an iPhone. After 6 months, an upgrade would come. You would click on upgrade. Your UI UX would change a little bit. Maybe for some of the applications, the performance would be increased. You would be liking little bit, which because you got some new update about it. Okay. So what does upgrade means? They take this keyword only, specific keyword. What does upgrade means? Upgrade means, now I am calling, or you can tell, there is a ServiceNow instance is there, and it is in Rome. Now, Rome is one version, and San Diego is another version. Now, ServiceNow is not that much fool, that in every 6 months they would come up with some different uh, tweaks, and they would tell that no, this is the new version, now use this. No, they do major changes, and there are a lot of differences in between every module, every you can tell instances, or you can tell by every version, because there is a lot of difference between the San Diego and Rome, even though the complete interface has been changed in between them. So there is a lot of difference in this, and upgrade takes lot of time. Upgrade means when you are upgrading your ServiceNow instance, this means that you are upgrading whole ServiceNow instance, which would be including multiple modules like ITOM, CMDB, multiple catalogs, requests, all the. If you don't know about catalogs and all this, that is completely fine. This is some of the jargons which we need to use and we would use in future, and there are concepts related to it. See here, characteristics of PaaS. Full managed cloud database would be there, correct. Mobile dev software development kit would be there, SDK. Multi-language development is there. Cloud app marketplace and point and click app build. Now these are the features of PaaS. These are the features of what? These are the features of PaaS. And all these functionalities is possible in ServiceNow. All, every single thing is possible in ServiceNow. What are the technical advantages of PaaS? Now, what happens? You need to be expert in this, and you can tell that it would include the speed. Cost would be there for sure. Cost would be related to that, and the scale, even though you can scale it. But what happens? A good PaaS provider will provide all these parameters. It should be uh, there should be a person who is expertise in this. Speed, or you can tell whatever the application you would be building, it should be effective. Cost would be less, because then only people would buy that particular application and use it. And even though the speed is less or the performance is not up to the mark, nobody would use that particular platform. And it should be scalable. Now, one more thing is that I have personally used as a PaaS platform. It was for one of the HP projects for PaaS platform. Now, what happens is that now in ServiceNow, you are writing small line of codes. That's not at all an issue. Think about right now, you are writing small amount of codes. You are calling something from a library which you have never seen. You don't know what they have written at the back end. But for everything, libraries are present. So, what happens in PaaS application? In this PaaS application, they install the libraries in their machines also many times, so that they can directly make use of it. I have seen, even though without internet, people are logging the tickets in PaaS platforms. And here the speed for the app development would be good. The one major point which I liked about the PaaS platform is that it would provide all the functionalities for the application development. And what is application development? Application development is the custom development. Now, the cost would be reduced. Using a platform like Salesforce also helps in standardization and consolidation of the resources and app components. Means it is talking about the same topic, that the Salesforce also helps in standardization. And yeah, it is obvious because say though it is ServiceNow, though it is Salesforce or Sharewell, it would provide some standards. There should be some standards which needs to be maintained for a particular apps, because everyone has its own app. And the best example about PaaS is cost, related to the cost. This means that whenever you are creating a new app, you are paying someone. You are paying someone. Now suppose if you don't need to pay only, okay, if you don't need to pay, then what we can do, we can create our own application, we can make use of it, and when it is necessary at that point of time only we can use that particular application. Why pass? Designing apps for millions of connected devices created potential scalability and security challenges. Yes, if you create an app, if you upload it on a Play Store or for Google, for this I don't know, for Apple, if you upload it, people would surely download that particular applications and at least try once. They can try once. If you see the second point, a popular consumer app can easily overwhelm a data center, and your brand can make it big if an end user experience suffers. Services like Instagram and Twitter process millions of posts each minute. Correct. It is absolutely correct point that when we create an application, even though when we are creating a service now, what we are thinking that, okay, I would be able to use it. No, you have to think about the other users in the business. And if I am talking about the business, this means that there are not 10, 50 or 100 users. There are tons of users, or you can tell lakhs of users would be present who would be using service now. Why pass? You could tell that easy integration, and easy integration with the legacy systems. Another is the real time information. Now we have to think about easy integration. Now, if you are working on PaaS, or even though if you are working on SaaS, integration you have to do it. But now the question is how to do it. There are the particular requirement gatherings are there, and most of the times whatever integration you do in any of the tools, most of the times you would be seeing REST integration, because it is comparatively faster to show. Now, why we need to use PaaS? What are the business advantage? We have to see that first of all, it is easier for the IT maintenance. Yeah, actually, it's easier. It is not in cloud. Even though if Many times it would can be present on the cloud, but if it is not on the cloud, you can get the on-site uh, help also. Either you need to go to the office, you need to make check, or you need to check the application why it is not working, first point. And the second point, if anything needs to be done with the developer end, he can do independently. Shared insights with, here also it is written the same, that whatever we would be doing, we would be solving some issue. What are the different type of PaaS are there? Now there are different type of PaaS. One is called as an public PaaS here. Another one is called as an enterprise PaaS. These points we have covered. Yeah. Now what happens in the common form, whatever the PaaS would be giving, or whoever would be helping us with the PaaS applications, what we have to do? We have to pay them, or we have to pay the clients. And one more PaaS is there, which is called as an enterprise PaaS. Now, what is enterprise PaaS? First of all, whatever the functionalities which would be there in enterprise or in normal service, now this means that there are a lot of functionalities and lot of plugins which are already installed. Now, what happens in this? In PaaS application, one good thing, you can set up your own physical server. Even though physical server you can set, because what happens in many of the tools, when you are using a platform as a service application, when you type to go write something, or when you open the application, it would in a real time it would connect to this particular server. After connecting to the particular server, then it would give you the result. Now, in short, whatever the theory part we have done and what are the benefits of PaaS we have done, in short form, you can see here in a diagram that what are the benefits of PaaS. First of all, it is lower cost. Yeah. And the app development is possible as well as the fast app development. And the another one is multi-platform integration. Multi-platform integration means either to the third party integration it can be, or you can yeah, third party integrations only, you can tell. Multi-platform integration, like other like Okta is there, SAP is there, HRSD is there, LDAP is there, Sonar Cube is there. These are the different integrations which is possible, and it comes under the third point, which is called as a multi-platform integration. Still, any issue anybody is facing, or whatever I am telling people are not able to understand, ask me the questions. If any question is there, you can ask me, then we would move forward.
Yeah, question is like, no, PaaS means like, no, it is a cloud-based solution which is there on the cloud-based platform, basically, right?
Yeah, cloud-based platform, but you can tell PaaS. Now what happens? PaaS and SaaS both are getting developed. Okay, both are getting developed. But before, PaaS was like something which you install an application. Now in that, like ServiceNow only, you can install that application, you can independently use that application. but the connection would be from some physical server, which would be either in some different building or in some different network it is present. So application which is installed in your machine, but the connection is from the server. So whatever the transactions or transaction in the sense like creating records, incident, problem, change inside that particular platform, and indirectly it would be saved in some server.
Okay. So
So
is it a ServiceNow this cloud-based solutions, cloud-based application, which is there on the AWS or Azure or anything like that, or how it is?
you're talking about which type is ServiceNow?
Yeah, yeah.
ServiceNow is both. Both
Okay.
ServiceNow is SaaS as well as PaaS. Now, how it is proved like ServiceNow can be used online. If you have an internet, open the any one of the browser, try to use it, it's done. If you want to use it on-prem means you cannot use it through URL, or you cannot log in. For that, you have to access to that particular server. After access is given from the server, later you can start development. Got my point?
Yeah, but you provided one development server, right? Basically for the service now.
Mm-hmm.
It is so we can do the development in the server, what are the development server, and we can move it to our own servers or our
No, no,
own.
we can't do that. We can,
Okay.
first of all, we can't do any development on the servers, because if we put direct data on the servers, servers are used not by one organized. Suppose what happens in many organization, suppose you are using ITSM. For ITSM they are using ServiceNow, but for ITOM they are using SAP. Correct. For ITOM or for any other module, they are using some another application. So everything you cannot do on the server. First of all, there would be a filtration process. Filtration process is nothing. Whatever the value you would put as an end user, it should be in a particular format. Whatever you give at the end of the day, it would be getting stored on a server. Now, why I'm repeating this word as a server? That is also a question, correct? That server, it would be interacting with the server. First of
Yeah.
all, first of all, PaaS applications come in a format of exe files. It would be coming in an exe files, and exe files are what? It is an independent applications. Now, when you open or double click on that some applications, what it would give you at initially, it would provide you few details to fill, and that few details we don't know. That few details would be give your IP address as well as your password, or some details like this. You don't know what would be the specific IP address, because IP address you can give it from for your laptop also, but actually it is asking the IP address of a server to connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kumar, this is Sabhu here. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there is a confusion on the terminologies. What is a
Mm-hmm.
SaaS? What is a PaaS? What is an IaaS, like infrastructure as a service? So if you can walk the team through for a clear example, when you say the term called service SaaS platform
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure, from a layman standpoint, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
ServiceNow as a SaaS, ServiceNow as a PaaS. If I have to understand as a simple person, what does that mean? And infrastructure as this thing. So that's a clarity that we need. I don't think so that terms are clear across our teams at this point.
Sure, I would tell you. Basic example I would tell for SaaS, there is, if you would let me write it for you all. Okay. First comes SaaS, then it is SaaS, okay. In SaaS it would be pre sorry pre-built applications, then services provided for rapid application development, and consist of Java runtime, development stack, middleware. Storage, working resources on demand like servers, networking, data center, storage. Okay. Now what SaaS is? Pre-built applications which are there at the cloud platform, and it is at the top of the hierarchy. If you see one of the hierarchy, first comes SaaS, under that it comes PaaS, and under that IaaS. Okay, so these are the hierarchy which goes on. Now pre-built applications means like ServiceNow. It is a pre-built application. ServiceNow gives you a plugin or gives you a package. You install, you access it from the website or from the URL. Your work is done, and inside that all the functionalities would be there. What would be the PaaS? PaaS means only for the application development. Application development means your app. Take any app from your mobile. WhatsApp, it is an application. WhatsApp I can open in the web also, but mostly what people used to do, it is an independent application which connects with the network. Network means it is connected through the network or to the server. It is an independent application, but it has a connection with the server. Means until and unless if it is not an no internet application, how it would interact with the server? Because WhatsApp has its some server. Similarly, applications which are built, they are independent, they can work independent. But the issue would be at the end of the day, it would surely, this application would surely interact with the some server through the internet. Now, few terminologies I have written here. One is called as in Java runtime. One is application runtime, and the one is middleware. These are what terminologies. Java runtime. If anybody has done Java before, means any developer or anything, he would easily catch this. Okay, Java runtime means this is an independent application which has been built and which is installed as an application in a system. But this Java runtime error comes when? This is a key point here to understand. This error doesn't comes in ServiceNow or in SaaS. This error comes here in PaaS. Why it is coming? When it is trying to authenticate or any type of issue comes, because at the end of the day, who creates application? It is developers only who create the application. So any type of coding is there, any type of loophole in the internet, means if your internet is slow, it would not load the pages. It is a very common example. Similarly, if the internet is slow or if the connection is slow between the server and your independent application which is installed, it would throw a Java runtime error. Java runtime error means a console error it would throw. But now your question would be how I would know that it is a Java runtime error or not. First of all, like this in browser it would come. Java, some, I would also tell you if portal topic comes, I would tell you how the Java runtime error comes. The Java runtime error, suppose this is there, okay? I am doing an inspect. Okay, here inspect is there. This is inspect is there in the console error like this. Here right now what it is coming, failed to load resource, the server responded with an status 400. Similarly in this format Java runtime error would come. When you would inspect and see this, you would be seeing this code is not working or there is some issue with the connectivity. This means that application. Why I am telling? Because there is a confusion. I can understand there is a confusion in which what happens. PaaS, PaaS is an application which you can install in your machine. That is fine. But how that application would work? At the end of the day, that application has also an connection with an external server it has been dedicated with. Because when you install any application, like HP has created its own tool before they adopted ServiceNow. It was a PaaS application and it also had some concepts of BMC remedy as in layout. Whenever you double click on that application, it would give you a pop-up to set up the things. Then at that point of time, what it would tell you? It would tell you that give the IP address of the server to which you want to connect. Then you would give the IP address, you would give the credentials. Then what it would happen? Then this message would be sent to the server for communication. Whatever the IP address and the password has been given, it is correct or not. When it has been authenticated, it is correct. Then only it would proceed further for installation of the other applications. It is similarly like that. It is an application, but at the end of the day, whatever the transactions or whatever the records are getting created, it is also done using a particular server dedicated to that application at the end of the day. And the last one, it is for storage and the networking, means the servers are given, physical things which are given like servers for networks, or you can tell storage devices or storages, virtual storages also which has been given. This all things come under this third category. So SaaS is completely cloud platform. Forget about it. Nothing would get installed in your machine. Completely free. Not free. Completely whatever. If you have an internet, you have an access to the SaaS application. If you have proper credentials from the company or if you have your own. PaaS means download your application, install it, make a connection with the server, done. Start working on that application which is there in your machine. Finished. And the last one, it is for the storage and the networking purpose. That's the difference.
That the last one is connect to the application at the platform level or cloud level itself, right? It is nothing to do with our machine.
No, not with the machine. It would
Okay.
provide an infrastructural support for your company.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this is the example of SaaS, PaaS, and S, and then see, these are the points which I was expecting. There are times why PaaS is not accepted a lot. Why PaaS, still PaaS has been used. It is not that it is completely eradicated from the market, that people are, none of the organization using PaaS. People are still using PaaS. But as per my real time scenario, because I have also worked on PaaS at some point of time, if there is a load on the server means, now suppose if you're logging on a Facebook, this doesn't mean that 10 people would log on a Facebook. It is something like millions of people are logging on that Facebook, and million of copies on the server would be built. Million of copies, a lot of load would come on that server. The fact is, I would tell you an example. What is cache memory? Because for this, because right now, as a high level perspective, you are seeing less security control, difficult infrastructure alignment, unexpected downtime. Fine. These three good points are mentioned here. But what's the logic? Why I would tell that unexpected downtime? I could tell anything, I can tell any point in that. The issue is, when these big applications are created, there is something called as an load balancers. This is something a fancy word. People use it that to balance the load and this, but no, it is a type of an algorithm and several servers are there. Facebook. If you talk about Facebook, the real time scenario, I would tell you. The Facebook is there. Facebook don't have a server in India. They don't have a server. Their main servers, every single information comes from US. But still people tell they have servers. Yes, it is a correct. These three servers are there. One is in Chennai, another one I think so in Hyderabad, other one is in Mumbai. These three places, they have servers, but they are not the real time servers. They are cache servers. Cache servers means, first when you log into any system, it what it would happen, suppose you are logging in from central India. I am giving an example of this, how the load balancing works. Suppose you are working from central India, which is the nearest state or which is the nearest server it would be? Of course it would be Mumbai, nearby server. So what happens, at initially it would bring the copy from US first of all. So it takes time a lot, means comparatively we can't see with the naked eye, but a lot to initially when you log in. Later on when you log in, every time it reloads quickly. What happens, there is a cache memory which has been created to the nearest server. So every time it would not go and interact with the server or to the main server. The last time when you interacted, that brought a copy of that server and stored to the nearest server in nearby location. So whenever you type the same type of thing, it would show you the cache results, or it would show you the dynamic cache results and bring the nearest copy from the server, and then it would show you what is happening. The load which was there, because now people are logging from Philippines, people are logging from India, people are logging from Bangladesh, this different areas they are logging in. This means that every time it would bring a copy from there, it's very hard to for the performance, and that server cannot take the load. To balance the load, Different servers are set up in every countries, in every places, so that the load would be distributed among equally among all the servers, and the performance would be increased. That is the real time example of a load balancing. This is the real time example of any website which you are using. This is the concept which goes on. It doesn't fetch directly from US. Google has a main office in US. But what do you think? Every time Google would fetch all the results from there? Never. They have the servers installed in particular location. It would reach out to the nearest server. After reaching to the nearest server, then it would bring a copy. Now, why I am telling you this example? Because you are creating an application for your own company, which is a PaaS application. How many employees you have? Hardly 1000, 2000, or 1 lakh. Suppose 1 lakh. But for 1 lakh users, they are not going to set up servers everywhere. There is a specific one or two servers would be there, and lot of people would log in at the same time, and it would cause a traffic on the server, and this would shut down. This would properly shut down at some point of time, or there would be a latency in the usage of a application. At that point of time, there would be an unexpected downtime every time. Every day, once or twice, you would face this unexpected downtime because it cannot handle the load or the frequency. Difficult infrastructure alignment? Yes, it's difficult because now you are involving two things. You are involving an application as well as you are involving the servers. Both the things. One is in cloud, another is in machine. So both combination of both would cause a problem for sure. Less security control. You cannot define specifically that less security would be given, because now it depends on the application, how we create it and how the process we create it. If it is good security, even though we can provide good security at some point of time in PaaS applications also. Okay, this is done. If we come to the fourth module, now what are the support, what the browser support? First of all, browsers would support the HTML design and web applications in different formats. And first of all, important thing about ServiceNow, there is nothing specific about the browsers. If you open from Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, everything would be done, or it would be compatible in every application. So we don't have to take any pressure on that, that what would be the specific capability of this particular browser or this ServiceNow instance. Which browser does ServiceNow supports? ServiceNow supports every browser. There is nothing called, even though Opera also it supports. Though Opera has a very less market values, or you can tell share percentage of share is less, but if you have any type of applications, any point of pointing it out, but if the browser issue came, I would tell you one thing here. There is something called as an I don't know about how much exploration we have done in ServiceNow, but in our ServiceNow community, or in everybody's ServiceNow community, there are some people are there. People means they are called as an advocates. Their proper position are the advocates, ServiceNow advocates. ServiceNow advocates are who are the people who have really contributed to ServiceNow company in real-time development and creation of the process. And they are called as an MVPs in ServiceNow. Again, I am telling in why I am telling this point, why it is coming in between is that because we called about a specific browser, Google Chrome. How the point reaches to the Google Chrome? See the link. First, there are few people are there in ServiceNow community, which are called as an advocates, and one you would get every person in LinkedIn, and they're very much interactive. They're good. Means if you ask anything, even those small technical things also you would ask, they would happily reply. Instantly they would reply. One is Tom Chucksy. One of the person is there, and another one I don't know his complete name. He's from Netherlands, but he like to call himself as a witch doctor, or sorry, Dr. Witch. He has also written a book on service now. These people are called as an advocates of service now. Okay. Now there is one more person who was there. There was one more person who was there. He is also an MVP. They have created two plugins actually. Recently, two plugins. Plugins means that is also a good thing. Means some extension, Chrome extension. Like if you install Zoom, Zoom extension would come on the right hand side here near the browser. In the browser here the extensions would come, correct? So these MVPs have created different MVPs has created few tools or few Chrome extensions which are very good. First they have created independently. First they have created it independently. Later on, ServiceNow has seen their contribution that really they are doing a good thing and it is a good product which we can include in ServiceNow. So what they have done, they have enabled this plugins and it is still present. SN Utils. I would show you. ServiceNow. This is the plugin. You have to add it to the Chrome. This would only work on Chrome. If you want to use these functionalities in ServiceNow, then you have to open ServiceNow with Chrome. This would attach as an attachment with ServiceNow and then it would perform better. Means lot of your headache would be less when you would start developing the things. And these things are created independently by these advocates and later on ServiceNow accepted by seeing their usage by the other developers or in their community. So as per my recommendation, go for Google Chrome as a browser to use ServiceNow if you want to use these capabilities. And Mozilla is also good. It also provides the best in security and customization. In Google Chrome, you can't tell there is a security little bit perform. I don't know because I have not personally uh, experienced that because of my high-end machinery, or you can tell laptop. Because of that, I have not used it. But if you open the taskbar, you would be seeing that Google Chrome uses most of your internet or most of your usage has been done using the Google Chrome only. But it is but in Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, it's comparatively less because there are a lot of constraints are also present in this. Safari is also there. Safari for Mac users, you can tell. Microsoft Edge, that is also good because in a lot of the organizations, Google Chrome is not permissible or we cannot use Google Chrome at that point of time. We have to use Microsoft Edge. But the issue is you cannot use the extensions there. And these are the few differences, or you can tell this is the browser differences. You can tell this is not specifically to the service now, but it completely depends on the person choice with whom or with which browser he or she needs to go further. Safari is for Mac users, and as per my opinion, as per a developer's point of perspective, I would go for Chrome because of the different plugins which are given by some people for this community, which makes our life easy, at least for the development purpose. Okay, I think so. We can keep till this thing. Yeah, so I think so. Uh, Till this we can keep, and then we can continue in the next session of ours.
Thank you then.
Thank you everyone, and I think so. Anything else, any questions or anything?
No, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to ask your questions in the comments